Hi, my name is Daniela Montanero and I'm going to talk about viremic relapse after HIV-1 remission in a perinatally infected child. Definition: plasma viremia also remains undetectable through 21.9 months after the discontinuation of ART on ultrasensitive single-copy viral load assays. HIV-1 specific antibody and cells-mediated immune response were not detected through 21.9 months after the discontinuation of ART, but were detected at viremic rebound by means of enzyme-linked immunosorbents assay.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sunnu Udani, the Medical Director and Critical Care Specialist of the SRCC Children's Hospital. With me, I have today Dr. Amreen Pandorwala, who's an infectious diseases specialist, and we are going to discuss HIV and AIDS. HIV and AIDS comes under infectious diseases, and we need experts like Amreen to manage these kids and give us knowledge about them. December 1st is designated as World HIV Day or World AIDS Day, and the theme this year has to do with involving communities, removing the stigmata from AIDS patients, and especially integrating children with the help of communities. We are going to talk about a few issues that children with AIDS face, and the doctors treating them need to be aware of a few of these problems. With this, we'll start off by asking a few questions to Dr. Amreen Pandorwala. Amreen, first tell us, what is the actual difference between HIV and AIDS? Everyone knows HIV infection is AIDS, but is there a difference?
Yes, there is a difference. It's a very simple question, but a very important one to understand. HIV is not the same thing as AIDS. AIDS means acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Acquired is something that you get, you've not always had it. Immune deficiency is when your immune system is not working properly, meaning it's lacking in some way. And syndrome is a group of illnesses together.
But Amreen, if you have HIV, does it mean you have AIDS and vice versa?
No, it doesn't mean if you have HIV, it doesn't mean you have AIDS. HIV is human immunodeficiency virus. So it's the virus you get, and when you have the virus in your system.
Applications in medicine. Additional studies are underway to test this hypothesis and to determine whether ART alone will enable longer-term HIV remission. Until these studies are completed, initiation of ART as early as possible in infants and continuation with introduction same product.
There are laws even in India which prevent discrimination against HIV individuals, including children, and there are a lot of myths which discriminate patients of HIV positive by the general public, and which is what the theme of this year's WHO AIDS Day is, that if as a community we fight against the discrimination these children face, then it will make it easier for people to come up for testing, get counsel, take treatment, and we will be able to fight the AIDS epidemic.
So what are the things that we would like to tell not just parents but even public and say other children in a class? Is it transmitted by kissing? Is it transmitted by sharing lunch?
Yes, so no, HIV is not transmitted by hugging, by kissing, by holding hands, by sharing toilet seats, by sharing lunch. All these will not transmit HIV. It's only transmitted when body fluids are exchanged. Because HIV is a virus which resides in fluids in the body.
Pros and cons. Pro: verified HIV, to give a prognosis of infection on the child. Giving prompt treatment to the child without looking on T-cell counts negative results if HIV it is not still rebounding because of normal T-cells count, bad immunological system.
In 2019, the human immunodeficiency virus, known as HIV, currently infects 37.9 million people worldwide. The World Health Organization recommends that all people infected with HIV immediately start combined antiretroviral therapy called ART. Currently, only 23.3 million people have access to ART, which leads to the enormous global challenge, both logistically and financially, of providing ART to 14.6 million more people living with HIV. ART is extremely effective at controlling HIV, but it is not a cure. Early during HIV infection, the virus establishes a latent reservoir in specialized immune cells, such as CD4 T cells and macrophages, found in the gut and highly protected sites like the brain. Establishing the latent reservoir means that the virus DNA integrates into the host genome and can enter a dormant sleep state, called latency. ART does not impact on the latent sleeping virus in these cells, which can reawaken if ART is ever stopped, and results in virus rebounding to the same levels as seen before therapy. Therefore, ART is a lifelong treatment and does not control the latent reservoir. A research group at the Kirby Institute, University of New South Wales, Sydney, have developed an innovative block and lock approach to controlling the HIV latent reservoir. This may provide an HIV cure by achieving sustained virus remission. Their block and lock cure strategy uses short RNA sequences to block virus production and lock the integrated HIV DNA in a permanent state of latency by mimicking and enhancing natural virus latency. This technology has been comprehensively characterized in human cells cultured in the lab and results in potent virus suppression that is also resistant to agents that try to reactivate the virus. Importantly, as the RNA sequence is only found in HIV, no off-target or side effects have been observed. This technology has also been tested in humanized mouse models of HIV and showed significant levels of protection against HIV infection. Current studies in mouse models are testing the effect of the RNA therapeutics in mice treated with ART, which is designed to mimic the envisioned human treatment setting. The results of these exciting proof-of-concept studies are expected to progress into human clinical trials of an HIV cure, with the ultimate goal of being a one-time treatment that provides lifelong protection from current and future HIV exposures. To contribute to HIV cure research or find research opportunities in the laboratory, please contact the Kirby Institute, UNSW, Sydney.
Issue apply in Ecuador. In Ecuador, last 2 years, more than 20,000 children were examined to diagnose if HIV has passed from mother to child, and is still in discussion. The long lapse of time in which retrovirals are used to control the viral charge of VIH after the birth.
It's an honor to me to introduce you to Professor Dan Kuritsky from Harvard University. He has been working on HIV cure for quite some time. He was a pioneer in observations in patients who received bone marrow transplants and were able to control for several months the HIV replication, and he's continuously contributing to understanding on how to develop new strategies to control virus replication and virus eradication. Dan, thank you again. It's a pleasure to have you here once again in Brazil, and I hope this is a dot in your year's schedule from now to come. Thank you.
Muito obrigado, é um grande prazer para mim falar aqui hoje. Eu falo só pouquinho de português. That about exhausts my knowledge of Portuguese, so I'll have to give the rest of my talk in English. So this afternoon, I'm going to give you a rapid review of where we stand with the now 2 and possibly 3 cases of cure and how they differ from the experience that we had with our Boston patients and the Mississippi baby and a patient in San Francisco. And then I'll talk to you about an ongoing study from which we have some preliminary results of very early initiation of treatment in newborns who are diagnosed at the time of birth as having been infected, and that is work being done in collaboration with Roger Shapiro and Matthias Lichtenfeld in Botswana. These are my disclosures. So, as I said, I'll first speak about the association between reservoir size and time to viral rebound, and then talk about the reservoir in HIV-infected infants who receive immediate ART after birth, and a little bit about where we're going next with that cohort. So before launching into the main talk, let me just provide some definitions of cure. And when we talk about eradicating HIV, I think what we really mean is the elimination of all detectable virus from blood and tissue reservoirs, so that there's no virus present that could lead to renewal of infection or transmission of infection to other people. Functional cure, by contrast, means that there's no detectable virus in the blood or tissues in the absence of treatment, but there might still be virus present someplace where we can't sample. And that's probably true in any.
Finally, in conclusion, the child did not have symptoms or signs of an acute retroviral syndrome or incident illness, including Epstein-Barr virus infection or cytomegalovirus infection, and had not received any vaccines.
The unnamed Mississippi girl, thought to be rid of the virus, was born prematurely in 2010 to a mother whose own HIV infection was discovered when she was delivering her baby. Without confirming whether the girl had the virus, a doctor administered AIDS drugs to the newborn when she was just 30 hours old. The girl, who was later found to have been infected, remained on a drug regimen until she was 18 months old. When she returned for a checkup 5 months later, HIV wasn't detected in the toddler, even though she had stopped taking antiretrovirals. She had consistently tested negative for the virus for 27 months until the latest checkup this month.
Thank you very much to watch my video.